Hi, dear friends and subscribers. Welcome to this cricket happening show today with your host Ram, and I'm giving you the stumps report on day four of the first Test match between New Zealand and South Africa, which is absolutely well placed now. Actually, South Africa went on to scored 435 for 5 declared. It was Jack Scalise, who couldn't go do much actually. He was out for 113 with 16 fours, and but Jack Rudolph was the man who really I would say really gave the thrust to this South African innings, because the first 50 that Jack Rudolph scored was at snail's pace, but the next 50 that he got was absolutely very quick stuff. And Jack Rudolph scored 105 not out when the declaration came from the captain Graham Smith. He was 105 not out of 182 balls, 15 fours, and one very good six that he hit. But what is good about this, Jack Rudolph is someone who has a very good average against New Zealand. He always loves the New Zealand bowling, and well, so he was the third centurion in this particular score of 435 for 5. A.B. de Villiers was out for 29 with 3 boundaries. Mark Boucher gave good company to Jack Rudolph by scoring 34 unbeaten runs with 4 boundaries. So 435 for 5, and it was New Zealand who were, just talking about the bowling figures there: 3 for 70 for Doug Bracewell, 1 for Trent Boult, and 1 for Kane Williamson. And the Graham Smith, in fact, declaring the innings close at 435 for 5, thus setting a target of 401 for New Zealand to win the match. What an interesting game this is going to be. I'll just come to that and I will talk about it. But now, just looking at the New Zealand innings, well, they have finished at close of play on the fourth day of this first Test match at 137 for 2. So that essentially means another 264 runs are needed, and 8 wickets still remain on hand. New Zealand didn't have a good start. They lost both their openers pretty quickly. In fact, Martin Guptill was the first to go when Vernon Philander got a ball to seam away and also had some bounce, and Martin Guptill had actually got an edge onto that. A.B. de Villiers held the catch and he was gone for 6. So that was the first wicket to go. And then Rob Nicol, who had a very tough examination, I would say, from Mon Morkel, who hit him on the wrist, hit him on the elbow. Rob Nicol was really, was really struggling out there. But then Imran Tahir, the right arm leg spinner, came in and picked up his first wicket with the first delivery bowled on the of this particular second innings, when he had Rob Nicol caught by Graham Smith for 19 with 2-4. So that made the score 55 for 2, chasing 401. The score was looking like a mountain at 55 for 2. But Brendan McCullum and Ross Taylor did a wonderful job. In fact, Ross Taylor was always totally strokeful in his score. He was batting on 48 with 8 fours at close of play, and Brendan McCullum was giving him company, batting on 58 with 5 fours and 1 6. So this particular partnership has really set New Zealand on towards the target of 401 now. And Brendan McCullum, well, he played it in his own way, but Ross Taylor was really strokeful. It was 8 fours in a score of 48. It was totally a stroke-filled knock, and Brendan McCullum was also looking good. So now this is the key pair for New Zealand. They have already done all the hard work there, so they just need to carry out that hard work on the fifth and final day of the Test match. And what an interesting day it is going to be. It is absolutely poised like never before, I would say, because 8 wickets in hand for South Africa. Has to take up 8 wickets. New Zealand have to actually score 264 runs. The final day, there's not a lot of turn for Imran Tahir. One was expected, but we don't know what is going to happen on the 5th day. The 4th day, we didn't see much of turn for Imran Tahir. And just looking at the bowling figures there, Dale Steyn 8 overs 2 maidens, none for 25. Vernon Philander bowled as good as ever, 12 overs 2 maidens, 1 for 29. Mon Morkel 9 overs for 33 runs with 2 maidens. Imran Tahir, as I said, couldn't really turn the ball square as one would have expected. 8 overs 2 maidens, 1 for 33. Jack Scalise 4 overs 1 maiden, none for 15. Now what really comes to mind here, just doing a quick analysis of what could have happened tomorrow. As I said, the match is very enthrallingly paused, but there is some threat of rain, and I hope the rain gods stay away. and this match really goes the whole hog tomorrow. I wouldn't know, but there is forecast for rain, and probably the result could be spoiled by that. Now, as far as South Africa is concerned, for them they have to take those 8 wickets. It's not going to be easy for them. 41 overs have been bowled, so they have to still have a long way to go to the new ball there. And Brendan McCullum and Ross Taylor have to survive the opening session, because the morning dew in the pitch, the wind, everything could make the ball seem away, and it could be cloudy too, because with the rain forecast there. And Brendan McCullum has to negotiate the bowling of Vernon Philander, Mon Markle and Dale Steyn initially. Well, they have to do the hard work. They have to really dig themselves in, according to me, and do all the hard work, because this particular pair absolutely holds the key for New Zealand to reach that very very high total of 401, because they have Daniel Vettori still to come, who is a very good bat. Kane Williamson is a good all-rounder. Kruger Van Wyk showed his prowess there in the first innings. Doug Bracewell can bat, as he showed in the first innings, and then Tim Southee can really swing a few, and Trent Boult also showed his batting abilities. But you can't rely on them. It's on the onus is on Brendan McCullum and Ross Taylor to give the home crowds, the New Zealand crowd, a real bonanza there on the fifth and final day. And well, now the good thing for New Zealand would be that Imran Tahir has not been able to turn the ball as one would have expected. But on the fifth day, probably there could be some vagaries of the pitch which could aid Imran Tahir. Well, if it doesn't do so, then Brendan McCullum, Ross Taylor can just bide their time and play away, and then go for the target. But as I said, it's even Stevens, according to me. It's not something that we can very fairly say that whether New Zealand will win or South Africa will. It's even Stevens right now, and there's a lot of work to be done by Brendan McCullum and Ross Taylor. And as I said, if the rain gods stay away, that would be good for cricket, and that would be reason. And let me tell you, New Zealand having a good look. And one thing I would like to tell here, one very pertinent point, is that if one goes by that, it's a superstition, I would say, because Graham Smith, whenever he has scored a century for South Africa has won the match. So that is one thing. But for New Zealand, one is they are on their home turf, and another thing that would be going for them would be the victory they had against Australia. As you remember, they chased in the fourth innings and got the victory. So well, that is something. But all in all, it looks to be an enthralling day's play. And let me tell you, dear fans, friends and subscribers, please don't get away from your seats. Just stay there and watch the match. And I will be there tomorrow to give you a quick report, and give you a report on the fifth and final day's play, which should be a real thriller. But albeit the rain gods stay away, and then we will have a great game of cricket there. Until then, it's your host Ram bidding goodbye for the day. Thank you.